Have you made a slow stitched drawstring bag? Did you run into any problems? There are a few steps in the process that can be tricky or even challenging. Today, I'm talking about 3 common problems that you can run into when making a drawstring bag. And I have some easy solutions and workarounds. If you haven't made a drawstring bag yet, the tips in this video can prevent problems before you even get started. I'm going to link to my bag making playlist so that after watching this video, you can follow along step by step and make your own slow stitched bag. So join me today as I take a slow stitched piece of fabric and I transform it into a bag while pointing out some common areas of difficulty and provide tips and tricks that will get you back to making in no time. I'm glad you're here. Let's get started. I'm working with this piece of slow stitched fabric that I made in a previous video, and it's 7.5 by 5 inches or 19 by 12.5 centimeters. And if you want to have a look at the video where I made this, I'm going to link to that in the description and up on the top of your screen. So when I fold this in half, it's the perfect size to make a drawstring bag. So I've pulled out some extra materials to transform this into the bag. I've got this deep pink color that's going to look really nice as the lining. So I've cut a piece that's slightly bigger on all sides. You can see here when I place my stitched piece down that I've got between 1/2 inch and 1 inch on all sides. And for drawstrings, I have some t-shirt material in almost the same color. I've cut a 1-inch strip. And if you take a t-shirt material and you stretch it out after you've cut it, it becomes a really nice thickness to use as a drawstring. And then I'm going to need some material for the channels. And I've chosen this light orange color. So I feel like those colors are working really well together. Because the fabric on my slow stitched piece has a pattern, it's nice to have these solid colors to pull out the colors in that fabric. So now that I have my materials together, I'm ready to get started. So one of the things that may be a challenge is stitching the lining into the bag. So one thing that you can do to attach this lining piece of fabric is to use a sewing machine. Of course, this can all be done by hand. It's going to save a lot of time, and it may be easier to stitch that straight line with a machine instead of by hand. So here I've stitched this piece on. I've just gone straight across. There's my stitching line from the sewing machine. And now I can take this fabric and I can fold it to the back. Use my fingers to crease that. So now this piece of fabric is attached. So there's really nothing wrong with taking this shortcut, if you want to call it that, saving yourself some time or saving your hands some strain from that extra stitching. And use a sewing machine where you can. So now I'm going to take the lining and fold under the edges so it comes right to the top of my stitched piece. And that's going to be where I'm going to put my channels in later. And once it's folded, I can bring out my iron to secure that fold. And then I'm ready to turn to the sides. So I have to stitch the bottom and the sides together. So I'm going to fold that fabric in as well. And I'm going to bring out my iron and iron those folds in place. So if you've seen my other videos on creating drawstring bags, you know there's more than one way to stitch this bag together. You can stitch from the inside, you can stitch from the outside. It really depends on the piece you're working with and the look that you're going for, and whether you want that lining to show. So for this piece, I've taken some clips. I'm going to fold my piece in half with the right sides facing, and this is so I can stitch this together from the inside. I've chosen a color of embroidery floss that matches my lining. I'm going to be working with 2 strands. You could use any number of strands that you want. And I'm going to begin stitching along the bottom. I'm using the blanket stitch. You could also use a whip stitch. And I'm going to stitch along the bottom very close to the edge. And because I've sewn that bottom on, I don't have to worry about any raw edges. And I want some of that lining to show along the bottom. So I can just stitch right along the edge and allow that pink to show through. Now that's not the case on the sides. The raw edges are not enclosed here. So when I stitch up the sides, my goal is to capture the raw edges of that fabric in that lining. And this is a place where sometimes things don't turn out exactly the way you wanted. So I've stitched this together. I'm going to turn it right side out and have a look at that stitched seam that I've made. I can see here in a couple of spots, the stitching line that I've made on the inside has not caught the edge of that raw fabric. This is a common problem that you may run into in stitching these drawstring bags. So one of the solves that works really well here is to fix the stitching from the outside. So you can choose a color of embroidery floss that matches the stitching that you've done on the outside, or you can choose a color of floss that matches your lining. Choose a color that you think is going to work, and you can just stitch those edges down and closed from the outside. So I'm going to work along the edge here. I'm going to pull everything closed, and I'm looking at the stitching that I've done on the surface, and I'm trying to match where I can, line things up where it looks good. And so it's going to be integrated and look like it's part of the design of the piece. So I've worked this one end, gone back and forth and closed everything. And I'm going to stitch up in this middle section and go to the other side where there's some more fabric that's exposed and continue to add some stitching to enclose those edges. So here's my edge with that stitching on the outside. And you can see when you look at it from different angles, you can't really tell that what I really did was solve a problem. It really looks like it was meant to be there and it's part of the design. So now my lining is attached, it's open at the top, and that's given me the slots I need to insert the channels for the drawstring. So another place that you might encounter a problem when creating a drawstring bag is in creating the channels. Depending on the fabric you choose, you may need to add some kind of interfacing, or you may need to double the fabric so that it's thick enough for you to stitch it in. You want to make sure that you have enough fabric so that you can fold in the edges of the channel so that the fabric doesn't become too frayed with the friction of the drawstrings going in and out. This is another place where you may want to choose to use a sewing machine to quickly sew the edges of the drawstring down. It may save you time, and it may in the end be easier for you to do that. Either way, hand sewn or machine sewn, you want the length of each channel to be slightly shorter than the width of one side. You want to slip them in between the back part of your fabric and your lining. Sometimes this can be an awkward spot to sew everything in because you're working through so many thicknesses. So my best advice for this is to use a sharp needle and take your time. The most important spot to secure these channels in place is at the beginning and the end. Where adding a few extra stitches to secure them will really make a difference because those are the spots that are going to have the tension from pulling the drawstrings. Aside from that, you can relax and just stitch it in place, and you don't need to worry too much about the two sides being completely perfectly parallel. As long as there's enough room for your drawstring to fit through that channel, it's going to look great. So when deciding the length of the drawstrings, you want to make sure that you have enough length to go from one side all the way around the other side and out. And for a drawstring bag this size, 16 inches, 15 inches, somewhere in there is going to be a perfect length. So you need 2 drawstrings, and then you can insert them using a safety pin. you start on one end and go all the way around and come out the other side. And then you do the same on the opposite side of the bag. And to keep these drawstrings from coming out, you take your two ends of each piece and you tie them together. And I like to snip off the ends after I've tied the knot. So here's my drawstring bag. It's complete and I'm really happy with the way that it looks. So there are 3 challenges that I highlighted today. The first one was stitching in the lining and the option to use a sewing machine. The second challenge was stitching those seams, flipping your bag out and finding that you have not caught all the fabric. There could be some raw edges that you didn't quite catch. And the solve to that was to stitch on the outside in a matching color of floss to pull together any small areas where you might have some raw edges showing. The third challenge was creating those channels. You have the option of using a sewing machine to stitch those channels on. It can be a little challenging getting something so small under your sewing machine, or you can stitch it by hand, making sure to add extra stitches to both ends where there's going to be some stress and strain on those channels. So I hope that these tips and tricks have solved some common pain points for you in making a drawstring bag. And if you haven't made one yet, you know where to look out for areas that might cause you problems. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, happy stitching.